Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name's Marissa and I like to talk about books and book design. Super excited for today's video because it will be my first time ever doing the mid-year book freakout tag. Mid-year freakout book tag? The mid-year freakout tag. The first question is a heavy hitter. Best book you've read so far in 2024. I think the best by far is Tell Me Everything by Minka Kelly. This is a celebrity memoir. Minka Kelly is an actress, which I'm not super familiar with her filmography. It was a memoir that I just happened to read because it was available on Libby. I was so glad that I did because I was obsessed with it. I read this in January or February and I actually could not put it down. I was like so excited to get in my car and drive places because I was like, ooh, I can keep listening to my audiobook, which is such a good feeling. I really felt like the story was just so honest and vulnerable. She really dug deep into her past childhood, which was traumatic to say the least. She kind of talks about how everything played out and how it landed her to where she is today. And I think I also just really enjoyed it because I had read Jeanette McCurdy's memoir last year, which is also a memoir about a relationship with her mother. So is Minka Kelly's. And the difference is that Jeanette McCurdy is still quite young. So is Minka Kelly, but comparatively, Minka Kelly is older than Jeanette. And I just felt like reading her memoir. She had a lot of wisdom from the years that have passed since these events actually happened. There was just a lot of things she said that really hit me when I was reading it. I thought it was an excellent memoir. I'm scared to look up. I don't know if she had a ghostwriter. It felt so personal that I'm like, surely not, but maybe she did. I read it at the beginning of the year and it's still holding up as one of, if not my favorite of the year, so that's a pretty good sign. The next question is best sequel you've read so far in 2024. Well, that is an easy one because I have only read one sequel in 2024. I am not really a series reader. I have and I will. I don't really like the commitment of super long series because I just prefer reading standalones. The one sequel I've read this year, luckily I did enjoy it, and that was Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. That is the sequel to Dance of Thieves, which is a, I don't know if it's young adult. I kind of think it is, but maybe it's not. It's a fantasy, like political fantasy book. And I rated the first book 3 stars. It was fine. I liked it well enough. I really enjoyed the sequel, which I feel like is kind of rare to like the sequel more than the first book, but this was a duology, so there's only 2. And it's kind of hard to explain the story, but basically it's like there's like it's like a big kingdom and then a smaller kingdom, and he's the leader of the smaller tribe kingdom thing, and then the girl works for the queen of the big kingdom and she's like spying on them, and there's some like political drama and people getting kidnapped and enemies to lovers, but not really because it's kind of insta love. That pretty much sums it up. And then the sequel is even better. I liked it as a sequel, and I think it wrapped up the duology very nicely. So I think the next question is supposed to be new releases you're looking forward to in the second half of the year. I have a revised one that's new releases you haven't gotten to yet. I am so not in the loop about like new releases unless it's like massive. So my true answer is the new Hunger Games book, but that's not till 2025, so never mind, I guess. But I do have some releases that have already been released that I haven't gotten to yet. And one that I am literally so excited for is Don't Want You Like a Best Friend. My last video was tier ranking book covers, and I said like 8 million times in the video that I do not like book covers with characters on it. But I like this one. They're just so cute, and I think the color palette is so nice, and I love their dresses, and I'm obsessed. This is a book that takes place in like the Regency era, like Bridgerton vibe, and it's between these 2 best friends who are going off into society. They're kind of reluctant to be put out into society, so they come up with this scheme to like get their parents together, like a parent trap kind of thing. But of course, there may be feelings between the 2 best friends, hence the title. This just is like 100% up my alley, and I will be reading this very soon. And then the other 2024 release that's already out that I've been talking about wanting to read so much is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I feel like I say this in every TBR I have, that I'm like, I'm gonna get to it next time, guys. I still haven't, but very soon. very soon. I'm getting the vampire itch. I have the Allie Hazelwood itch. You'll see it in a little bit. So that's my other answer. And then we have the biggest disappointment of the year. I've already talked about it a few times on this channel, but that would have to be Come and Get It by Reid. I was really let down by this. I loved Kiley Reid's debut novel, Such a Fun Age, so I was really looking forward to this one, and it was unfortunately a miss for me. The book is set on a college campus, and it kind of follows some college students, but also this professor who's like interviewing them. And I think the main flaw is, in my opinion, it didn't seem like it knew what it wanted to say. And it's a book that doesn't really have a plot. It's very much character driven. And I just like could not find the will to care about these characters. Couldn't do it. So when there wasn't really like plot to fall back on and I didn't care about the characters, I was like, why am I reading this? What am I reading right now? I do think Kiley Reid is an exceptional writer and the writing was still great. So I still gave it 2 stars, but everything else was lacking. Still looking forward to see what Kiley Reid does in the future because I think she has it in her to do another banger. It was a sophomore snoozer, in my opinion. On the flip side, we then have the biggest surprise of the year, which would have to be Check and Mate by Allie Hazelwood. I absolutely loved this book. I was eating it up. It was a huge surprise for me because I'm not the biggest romance reader. So it's really hard for me to like get past all my hangups on like cringy moments and just fully like give into it. Allie Hazelwood managed to get me to do it in this romance story. It's a YA romance that follows this girl, Mallory, who is like a chess prodigy basically, but she stops playing chess for a few years because of her dark and twisted past. I'm just kidding, it's not really, I mean, her trauma, whatever you want to call it. And then the main love interest is this guy Nolan, who's the top chess player in the world, and they are like competing against each other and she doesn't want to like admit that she still loves chess and he's like trying to bring it out of her. Ooh, I ate it up. I think this is such a successful romance because not only were the main characters really fleshed out, but all the side characters were as well. I loved it. And now that's why I have the Allie Hazelwood itch. So I'll definitely be reading Bride and I'm hoping to binge her other books that I haven't read yet. Much more to be explored. The next question is favorite new author, which can be a debut author or a new to you author. I have read a few debut authors this year, but I wasn't like that thrilled with them. So I'm just gonna do a new to me author, and that would be Beagin with Big Swiss. I actually just finished this one for my book club and I ate it up. Oh, I ate it up. I thought I would use it for this prompt because I really loved Beagin's writing. I just thought the story was so immersive, and it's one that, like, again, there's not really a plot. It's very much hinging on the characters and the writing. A lot of the story is just like a little bit absurd. Just like the characters, like you read it and you're like, why are you doing that? I don't know. Beagin just like has a way of making a book about nothing a page turner. And I think that is really impressive. And the next question is, newest fictional crush. I really thought long and hard about this one. I just don't really get fictional crushes the way I used to. Like, I think the last time I was like actively like fiending for a fictional character was Cardan and the Cruel Prince. Like, I was on my hands and knees fiending for him. And I haven't felt that way. I definitely enjoyed Nolan's character in Check and Mate, but I think I just like, in general, liked the romantic chemistry between Nolan and Mallory. Like, I don't think on my own I would be like thirsting over Nolan. And I also just read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. And Justin was nice, he was cute, like definitely a very good boyfriend. So like, I guess I would say them too, but I'm not like actively like thinking about them after having read them, so I wouldn't really call that a crush. I don't know, but Cardan, I'm still thinking about you. Newest favorite character. I'm gonna pull Big Swiss back out and I'm gonna say Greta, the main character, which is an interesting choice because Greta is awful. She is just like really hard to read at times, But that's what made her my favorite, is that she's just such a complex character that at times you were like really not rooting for her. I just like really enjoy books like that can make you care so much about a character, but also like acknowledge their flaws and really think deeply about the actions they take and why they take them. As much as I like don't like Greta, I love Greta. Our next question is book that made you cry. I will confess, I am a crier. It is like extremely easy to make me cry during a book. Something sad, something happy. Maybe I'm just crying. Like, I don't know. I cry all the time. But there's just no comparison to this book. This book had me like close to dry heaving. I was crying so hard. And that would be Crying in H Mart. Crying in H Mart is such a fantastic memoir. The writing is incredible and it is so immersive. It really takes you into Michelle's world and what she was going through when her mom was dying of cancer. Read at your own caution because oh my God, it broke my heart. It is like, there's just no words other than it's literally gut-wrenching. Like borderline protect your peace and don't read it, but also it's a very beautiful story and you should read it. This next question is one of my favorites, which is the most beautiful book you've bought this year. And I, of course, could not narrow it down, so I have two. The first being Fresh Complaint by Jeffrey Eugenides. This might not look like all that much, but I am just like geeked by this cover jacket situation. Yeah. This typeface is just super cool. But then underneath, what a fantastic illustration. I don't know, I just like love this blue. Like it's really beautiful to me. And then the other one is the book I'm currently reading, which is Chlorine by Jade. I love mermaids. So this illustration is just so cool to me, but I love the details they put in here. I love that they decided to have this like bright red, which is like not a color you associate with mermaids, which is fitting for this story. Kind of like subverts your expectations. But then the way it's popping out of this box and all the like wave details here, and then the bright yellow, ooh, it's just too good. It is actually too good. And we have made it to the end. The last question is books I need to read before the end of the year. Literally so many, as like every single person is saying in their videos. I have like two that I really, truly need to get to. And I'm pretty sure they're both on my 5-star prediction list for the year. The first one is Bunny by Mona Awad. I have in every single one of my TBR videos been like, I need to read this book. I want to read this book so bad. But it's one of those books that I am like, I've hyped it up so much in my mind. Like I think I'm gonna love it, that I'm scared to read it and to be disappointed by it. So that's why I've been putting it off. I like can never bring myself to read it. But I know I'm gonna love it because I love these types of stories with the like unreliable narrator and the like when you're not really sure what's going on. That is just like my perfect cup of tea. So I'm like, I will read this before the end of the year. I will. And then the other book, this is the book that has been on my shelf the longest since I think 2014, 2013 maybe. Wow. And that would be The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I like actually have no excuse. I have no explanation. I really think I'm gonna enjoy this book and it's literally not long at all. So why haven't I read it? I don't know. It's just like never one that I'm like, oh, let me pick that up. I don't know why, but oh my God, this is the year I am finally going to read it. Please hold me accountable to that because I really, really do need to read it. This has been my mid-year freakout tag. I've had a very enjoyable reading year so far. I've read 30 books, but I have a lot of exciting books in the docket coming soon. I'm really enjoying what I'm reading currently. And yeah, I think the rest of this year is going to be really good and I'm already off to a great start. So yay. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks. I want to know what your favorite book of the year has been so far, or tell me what you're most looking forward to reading before the end of the year. Yep, tell me, because I need to know. And with that, I'm heading out. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.